Is the United States the most powerful country in the world, a nation on the rise, or an empire in decline? It's a question that sparks fierce debate online and in the halls of power. You've seen the headlines, the fiery social media posts, the warnings that America is on the verge of collapse. But is it true? Today we're not going to give you a simple yes or no. Instead, we're going to do something more important. We're going to explore why this idea has taken hold. We'll break down the core arguments for America's decline, and then look at the powerful evidence for its enduring resilience. Let's get into it. The narrative of American decline isn't built on just one thing, but on a series of deep-seated challenges that are causing real anxiety for many Americans. Let's look at the three main pillars of this argument. First, the economy. For decades, the American economy was the undisputed engine of global prosperity. But critics point to some worrying trends. A major concern is the national debt, which has reached record levels. This is coupled with persistent inflation, which, while it has cooled from its recent peaks, continues to outpace the Federal Reserve's 2% target. This means that even if wages are going up, the cost of living for housing, healthcare, and everyday goods is rising faster for many, eroding their financial security. In fact, a majority of Americans view issues like the affordability of healthcare and inflation as very big problems facing the country. Then there's the issue of inequality. While the US economy has grown, one argument is that the benefits have disproportionately gone to the wealthiest, leaving the average American feeling left behind. Some analysts argue that this growing gap between the rich and the poor isn't just an economic issue, it's a social one that can lead to instability. This leads us to the second major argument. Our social and political fabric feels like it's tearing apart. Political polarization is at an all-time high. It's not just that Democrats and Republicans disagree on policy, there's a growing sense that they inhabit different realities. There are wide partisan gaps on what are considered major problems, from climate change to racism, and even the level of agreement on basic facts. This division can lead to political gridlock, where the government is unable to address pressing issues from immigration to infrastructure. This has fueled a deep decline in trust. Confidence in key US institutions, from the government to the media, is eroding. This erosion of trust is a serious problem for any democracy, which relies on a shared sense of legitimacy to function. Some academics have even warned that this level of internal conflict and institutional decay could lead to serious political instability. Finally, proponents of the decline theory point to America's changing role in the world. For the first time in a decade-long survey series by Ipsos, China has surpassed the US in perceived positive influence on the world stage. Recent polls show a significant drop in America's reputation abroad, even among traditional allies like Canada. A majority of Americans themselves believe that US influence in the world is getting weaker, while they see China's influence as growing. This isn't just about popularity, it's about soft power, the ability to lead and persuade without force. Some argue that domestic turmoil and inconsistent foreign policy have tarnished the American brand, making it harder to rally international cooperation on global challenges. Now, it's easy to get lost in the doom and gloom. But that's only half the story. For every argument about decline, there is a powerful counter-argument for America's strength and resilience. Let's start back with the economy. Despite challenges, the US economy remains remarkably resilient and is often considered the strongest among advanced G7 nations. The US has demonstrated a strong recovery from the pandemic, with GDP growth surpassing pre-pandemic levels faster than many other developed countries. The job market has remained exceptionally strong, with unemployment holding at historic lows. Crucially, the US is a global hub of innovation. Its leadership in technology, from software to artificial intelligence, and its world-class universities continue to drive economic growth and attract talent from all over the world. This culture of innovation and flexibility has allowed the economy to withstand major shocks, from financial crises to pandemics. Next, let's talk about power in the more traditional sense. Despite challenges, the United States military remains the most powerful in the world, with a budget that dwarfs the next several countries combined. Its global network of alliances and military bases gives it a reach that no other nation can match. This military and economic power forces the rest of the world to take American interests into account. Furthermore, the US dollar remains the world's primary reserve currency, giving it immense structural power in the global financial system. While there are discussions about de-dollarization, no clear alternative has emerged. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, is America's historical capacity for self-correction and renewal. Debates about American decline are nothing new. They have been a recurring theme throughout the nation's history. Yet the country has navigated worse crises, including a civil war, the Great Depression, and tumultuous social upheavals. The nation's democratic institutions, while under strain, have also shown resilience. The freedoms of expression and political association, though sometimes tested, allow for robust debate and social movements that can bring about change. The US population is also more dynamic than that of many other developed nations, in Europe and Asia, which face demographic crises from aging populations.